Hello my knivesy friends. I thought I would have a little video to show you about my new Prezi that I got myself to keep my kitchen knives sharp and or my pocket knives sharp. My kitchen knives are an embarrassment in terms of how dull I let them get because I just have never felt confident in sharpening them, and so I just sort of didn't. Also, I don't really cook that much. Shh. But I went to Blade Show West and the HORL reps were there showing off this little HORL 3 rolly gizmo. And for $179, which seems really steep, I thought I'd buy it. But I wanted to buy it directly from them because I knew it wouldn't be some imposter where you might still be paying not quite as much, but a lot, and then get a really inferior product. So let me open this thing up. I put the lid here, has some little insert where there's some code where you can, I don't know, sign it up or get help, instructions, whatever. You got the little booklet that tells you how to do it. I'm not going to read that. I'm just going to wingding it. And it comes in, I guess, what is this? Oak. And then the other one I think is walnut for a darker color. And it's got this anchor base with a 15-degree angle or a 20-degree angle. And this goes on one side and the knife sticks to it and you roll here and it sharpens, and you start with the diamond side and then continue with the ceramic side. And they're removable, so if you wear that sucker out, you can buy a replacement. I'll share more details about that as we move on in the video, but what I wanted to do here was sharpen this knife, my primary kitchen knife, which is actually not. This is the one I really use a lot. I bought it at a craft fair in Seattle. A maker, he's told me that the wood was left over from a luthier, a violin maker, and I just thought that was a great backstory. It's carbon. And we'll see how that sharpens up because it came super sharp, but it needs some TLC now. I kind of wondered about small knives, and I asked the rep and he said he'd even sharpened a classic on it before. I'll tell you when I do a little example here how he suggested doing that successfully. And then I've got this little sucker that has a little burr midway where I cut through some wire on it. Oopsie poopsie. So with those four, we're gonna sort of see how this sucker does. And yeah, let's go along for the ride. I have, just to show you, hey, it's not as bad as I thought, but you know, bad. That's where that one's at. Let's see if we can do better at the end of this. This one. It's not getting totally stuck, but it's not smooth. There, that's what I want to see. I want to show you off how embarrassingly bad it is. Let's do that one more time. This guy. All right, so those are the befores on those two. Let's do a before on a Swiss Army knife. Actually sharpened this on a sharpening machine not too long ago. But I think it needs some help. All right, you get the idea. Yeah. Let's see, this one does great until it hits that burr. I didn't hit the burr, so it did well, but I was doing this the other day. Yeah, right there, it gets kind of hung up. I really don't know if you're gonna be able to, yeah, you see that little nick? That's my nemesis. And that's when I wanna see if we can buff that sucker out. All right, let me turn this face down so you can see what I'm working on. And I'll let you know if I think this is a yay or nay for you. And like I said, I'll share some details as I'm going. So we're just gonna lock this guy on here magnetically. I'm using the 15-degree angle. On my pocket knives, maybe I would do the 20-degree angle. I sure wish it could be a 17, but that's not an option. Even when you buy the expensive version that has 6 different settings, they skip over that. But let's just roll through here. As you're coming towards the rounded point, you can sort of roll this in a way that crests to make sure it keeps proper contact with the edge. If it's something like a Tonto blade, you would do one angle and then the other. You wouldn't try to create that crescent because it might sort of round over that nice point. But here we go. I really have no idea exactly how many passes this is supposed to take, so we're just winging it. This is novice class for everybody. The whole point for me is I need this dummy level because I don't want to geek out about sharpening my knives. I just want something that I don't have to think about. I'm not worried about the kind of blade steel it is. I'm not worried about, you know, uber maximum gold star level. I'm worried about like functionally nice and sharp, like tomato sharp. And then they do recommend giving your knife a nice strop at the end. I think for one thing, I don't know what angle this started on, so if I'm creating a new angle when I do this, that might mean that it requires more time. Yep, we're not there yet, so let's keep going. I think I'm just going to keep going with the ceramic side for now. All right, good enough. Let's see if we can accelerate that on the next knife. We're also going to go for 15 degrees. What you can do when a knife is short like that is put it a little higher. And then what you want to do is brace the underside a bit. So that can be done just with your hand. So let me get this a little higher, like that. All right, we're going to start with the core side, go right up to the edge. All right, nice carbon, nice. Let's move on to my little pocket knives. Kind of lied about this. Forgot to switch that over to 20 degrees, but for a little Swiss Army knife, 15 is just fine too. Not like gonna skin a deer with this or something. All right, cool. So it's a little tricky doing a 58 millimeter sack, but as long as you can support the body of the knife with your hand sufficient to keep the blade edge above the magnet, it is doable. So here I'll take a moment to let you know about the HORL 3 lineup. This is the standard version at $179. We have swappable, replaceable sharpening stones. We have two grinding angles, the 15 and 20 degrees. If you want to pay less at $119, there's what they call the cruise option. But the sharpening surfaces included, instead of being diamond and ceramic, we have diamond and stainless. Also, it's kind of one and done. You cannot replace them once you've worn it out. So to me, that cruise option doesn't make sense when you're looking at $119. Likewise, the Pro version, which has all the bells and whistles, is so expensive at $399. I also didn't think that really made a lot of sense. We do have swappable diamond and ceramic scales. We have the knife anchoring base with sharpening angles adjustable to 10, 13, 15, 20, 22, and 25 degrees. It also has what they call planetary gearing. I'm not a physics person, but basically it rotates 3 times as far in the same space. It's like a little rotator accelerator. I don't know. Otherwise, you can spend geeky money, $79 on a dock to sort of port these two things. And extra discs run from $49 to $69 or even $79. There's a coarse diamond at $69, diamond at $69, ceramic $49, whetstone fine grit $49, whetstone extra fine $49, and Kagami ultra fine, woohoo, $79. So FYI on all the ways you can probably spend a little too much money. The folks who were representing at Blade Show were pretty clear that standard was more than good enough for 99% of us, so my wallet agreed. Let's see how it slices. God, that feels good. Wee-hoo! Woohoo! You make like a stop sign out of this or something, or a smiley face. Ha! Confetti! Woo! Yay! Oh man, I just love it. Okay, so that is incredibly fast to sharpen a knife. I'm delighted. Tempted to go get another one just to show it all off. So here's a Knafs Lander 4 that I've beat up like crazy whittling. You can get the idea. That's in desperate shape. Let's fix that. Get that blade up high, tuck my thumb under to hold it up. Let's be really quick about this in real time. So I also should say, I love about this the itty bitty form factor. It's small, elegant, analog. I don't have to plug it in. It doesn't make a big fat mess like water and whetstones. It doesn't have sort of tree branch Frankenstein arms flailing in all these different directions, to try to achieve your angles. So the simplicity, but also, a decent amount of precision is really great. HORL does recommend you put down a mat on your work surface because of any particulate as the blade is getting ground. You don't want that to mess up or mar your surface or get into food, for example, or have kids exposed to it. I will clean up properly after that, but that's nominal compared to water splashing everywhere and whatnot. So again, just simple, easy, elegant. Some people like the zen of something that takes more time. That's fine, but for quick and easy, this is the ticket. All right. Definitely see we removed a little bit there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 100. Just a couple minutes like that. And we are in very operational order. Once more, confetti, yippee! All right, thanks for watching. Cheers.